right, what we're going to do now, we're getting ready to start working on the that Model 151. I've got an old stock here, and we're just going to do some testing on it to see what pretty close to the same finish. This is what we're going to be using, and I ain't a sponsor, never tried it, never seen it, don't have any idea about it at all. Pretty standard stuff though. Keep 12 to 14 inches from the surface and kind of coat the piece, and then it says let set, and it does not give you a time, but it says do not rush it. So we're going to try it. We're going to see what it says. All right, we're going to leave it there. And I'll probably do like a 5 minute or so, come back, look at it, 5 minutes, come back and look at it, and we'll keep you updated. Okay, that's been 5 minutes. I'm going to try to get down here where you can see it. It's starting to bubble up a little bit. I don't think it's done yet. I'm going to let it cook for a little bit longer. All right, we've been about 20 minutes. I kind of let it go. Ain't really doing a whole lot. So, probably going to start taking it off here in a minute. I'll be back once I get set up and we'll see what it looks like. All right, it says on there, go with the wood grain and use plastic. And I'm not doing the back of it. That way we can kind of get a visual on what it's looking like. So let's go with the grain. All right, seems like it's taking off the finish. Looks like it's pulled off the finish a little bit. It's got a pretty heavy finish on it, as you can see. And it kind of got it down to the bare wood a little bit. I mean, it's still stained, but I think we need to try it again. So let's spray it again. Let's just let it go again, see what happens. That was probably 35-40 minutes, so we'll get the finish off of it and then see what happens when we get down into the wood. It says you can do it multiple times, and I'm not getting real aggressive with it at all. So let's see what happens. All right, we're back over here. We'll let this one set for about an hour. So let's kind of see what it did. Don't really look like it's taking much of the stain out. It's got all the varnish though. The varnish is gone. I mean, it's kind of getting down there a little bit. It's definitely lightened it up because this one was super dark. You can see it. I mean, it's definitely lighter. I mean, this thing was dark, so I think we're gonna just have to try a couple more coats. I'm gonna put a little bit of mineral spirit on it and really clean it off. Yeah, and then this is what we're using for mineral spirit. Once again, don't really Know much about them. Definitely not what I'm looking for. I wanted a whole lot lighter down to wood. Might end up having to sand just a little bit. Don't want to sand though. Anytime you're restoring a firearm, you do not want to sand it. This one's kind of a, we're taking 3 guns and making one, so you're kind of going to get different color on the patina, on the gun, the metal, on everything basically. So guess we'll put another coat on it and try it again. See what happens. Be back in a little bit. All right, we'll let this thing sit overnight. Let's see how it did. It's still wet, so that's a good sign. I'm gonna wipe it off now with mineral spirits, see if that helps some. I feel like it might have lightened it up a little bit, but I think you're not gonna get a whole lot down in there unless you get into the sanding it. That stain, since this thing's so old, it has sunk down in there pretty good. It seems like it's pulling some of it out. You see the brown on the rag. We're definitely down to the stain. To let it dry and see how it comes out. I think it definitely lightened it up some. Well, it's hard to tell now that I put the mineral spirit on there, but I think you can definitely see a little bit of a difference. And a couple other products I'm gonna try. I think I'm gonna flip it over on the other side and see what I can do with it with a different product. I mean, I think a little bit of light sanding would take it out, but see, the thing is, I don't want to get into the scuffs. I want to leave the marks in there, and you can see the grain. It's gonna be a tough one without sanding it, and I don't really want to sand it. Might just have to strip it down and seal it. I mean, that's kind of the look I was going for. I wanted it lighter. That way you can see the grain. I mean, if you finish that, I don't think it would look bad at all. You gotta remember, you're not gonna see all this stuff. It's just a test piece, but I mean, it went from that. You can see the light spots in it there. To that. I don't know, hard call. Stain is very difficult. You start messing with these old firearms, they different finishes, and it gets a little tricky. So I think we'll try another one on the other side and see how that goes. I won't bore you with the details. If it works out, I'll show you. If not, we'll just continue on with what we got here. All right, so we sprayed this thing And this is what it looked like before we did our little test. And then after we kind of let it set overnight, it kind of come out like this. Of course, all wood's going to be different, but it come out pretty good. Well, we got on the stock, and it come out pretty decent. It's still got a little bit of varnish on it, and they had a rubber pad on this thing right here. And you can see the difference in it in some of the places. I think, like right here, I think what I'm going to do on this one is do a light sanding, just to kind of rough it up a little bit. And I kind of made this little jig just to kind of hold everything while I, do the spraying. This case, this is what it looked like before. Let me give you the before and afters because I don't know if I didn't get any close-ups on it. So these two match right here. And this guy's pretty much done with the spraying. Then I made this little jig right here to hold everything while you spray it. The one that we're going to be doing, this is the one that come with the stock, that gun. And like I said, we're going to be using several of them to kind of get what we want. The youth guns were pretty rare, and they only made it in like a 410, but this has got a 16, and don't know if this is a 16 gauge youth gun or a 410 or a 20. I haven't seen another one like this. If you go through and look at it, they are identical. They just basically cut it down. Got some pretty wood. And I think I'm going to go back with this one just because it's a little rare. And so we gotta clean it up. You always have these. This is what goes in and holds it. And if you can see, you can look and see how bad that one looks. We're going to clean it up, sand it, file it down. I've got another one right here. I think it'll work pretty good once I clean it up, if I don't lose it. But that's what we're going to do. So we're going to get to this one and spray it. We ended up spraying it. The thing kind of recommended 15 minutes, so we did a 15 minute. Then we actually went with an overnight, just because that's how we got this one. So the woods acted totally different. This one we did the overnight, and it still was wet when we come back in the next morning. The stock, when we did it overnight, it was like a powder. You had to scrape it off, and it basically turned to dust. So I don't think we're going to do this one overnight. I think we're just going to kind of do it the 15 minute, and just kind of keep working it off until we get it where we like it. Because this wood is definitely different than the stock wood. I think it's the same oak or walnut, but it's definitely was stained lighter. And you can see this thing's got some dings in it. We're not going to be fixing the dings. The stock also has some dings in it. We're not going to be fixing them. We're going to try to keep it, even though we're taking several guns to make one. We want this to be a used gun, and we want it to be used. It's not going in a museum. Did a little bit more research, and I found some flyers for this thing, and I'm going to order them. When they first come out in the early 70s, KMart had an ad for them. They were $38.50 up to $41.25, if I'm not mistaken on the change, but it was $38 and $41. So you could get the upgraded model for $41. So this is a poor man's old shotgun, kind of like the old H&Rs. But if you grew up and you had one, and when you get to be an old man, you kind of want your kid gun the one you grew up with. It's kind of a strange deal for you younger gentlemen. If you get a chance to hold on to your first gun, or you know, it's still in your family somewhere, get it back. Don't ever sell that one. Keep a hold of it, because that thing, as you get older, will mean something to you. Any item doesn't really mean anything. When you're dead and gone, it don't really matter. But in the meantime, getting there, it's kind of fun having your old original stuff. Makes you feel a little better. But I'm gonna spray this guy. I don't want the camera around it, and it's pretty potent on the chemical. So, but once I get it, I'll probably stop this video series right here. Once I get these things all prepped, I'll do a staining on them, kind of show what I did. Actually, we're going back. You got a Minwax pre-stain wood conditioner. You put this on. It tells you everything on it. Not sponsored by Minwax, but I should be. And then this is what we're going to go back with. We're just going to go back with the gun stock. And I think, and we wanted something really light, because as dark as some of this wood is, I think the light, it's going to darken it up, the final. We ought to get back pretty close to something what I'm looking for in color. I don't know if you can see it, but it's almost like that one right there. It's got a little bit of a sheen to it. This thing is very, very, very pretty. I think it's gonna end up being a fine looking specimen. But that's it for now, and I'm gonna go ahead and get this video out. Like I said, once we get it stained and we start on the sanding and everything on the actual metal part, I'll show you the finished product on that. I mean, it's just going to be a playing with to get it right. But y'all have a blessed day. Thank you for watching.